Good evening. This is my level 87 Uber Lilith kill guide. This build is primarily for killing Uber Lilith during the stagger phase with a few adjustments to some gear pieces and Paragon. This build can also work to push high Nightmare tiers. The theme of this build is a Poison Sub-Zero rogue build, and we play around utilizing the seasonal gems into the build. So here are my items. You want to get as much crowd control as you can in order to speed up the stagger bar. You want defense on your chest and pants just enough so you can survive 1 or 2 auto attacks from Lilith. There's no need for any more defense aspects since you got one shot anyway. For gloves, I use lucky hit chance and slow procs so that it helps with the stagger. And then for Penitent Greaves, it provides us a chill effect when the boss gets staggered. This provides us the synergy we need to make our other aspects and gloves and the heart gems to work together. This is a must-have item. For the amulet, you mostly want DPS stats, ideally imbuement and energy cost reduction. Frigid Finesse is also really good as this helps during the stagger phase. For rings, you want crit chance, damage, bone, resource generator. This will be enough sustain to allow us to not have to use other aspects that provide us energy. For weapons, I use Condemnation as this allows left and right click one after another in quick succession with a chance of hitting 3 combos. The goal is to hit as many imbued twisting blades into the target as possible. There's no need to basic attack 3 times and then twisting. You could just left click, right click, back and forth. Also, since we're using tricks of the trade, that also acts as a pseudo extra combo point when we alternate between the two. For weapons, ideally you want crit damage, bone, core, and damage with imbue. So I'm just going to explain why I chose my aspects. So Frostbitten provides extra crit damage when they're in the stagger. Noxious Ice as well, more poison damage, and Chilled, which provides us more stagger. Bursting Venoms, which is the important part of this build. Disobedience gives us enough armor to survive 1 or 2 hits. Penitent Greaves provides us the chill effect, which makes all these other aspects work together. Corruption provides us more damage to our imbued skills. Condemnation, I've already explained that. Smiting, increased crowd control duration helps us stagger the boss faster. The crit chance is nice, but that doesn't happen until after below 35%. Blade Dancers helps us with our main skill. Accelerating more attack speed, which is nice. Inner Calm, this helps us do more damage. Ideally, you would want to have accelerating on the necklace and then Inner Calm on the ring, but I just did not have an extra aspect, so I just worked with what I have. The reason I chose crit on the gems is because Critical Strike works with the imbuement, and you can crit with the imbued skills. Even though poison doesn't crit, your imbued procs do. And then for the gems, so for my raffle, I put Creeping Frost, and this helps us do a lot of dot damage when the boss is staggered. For this one, I used the one that gives us stun grenades. This helps us with stagger. This is also really good for pushing Nightmare as it provides us a lot of CC. These grenades also proc Frostbitten. And what Frostbitten does is chill enemies with our Penitent Greaves hit by the grenade skills from this gem have a chance to be frozen. And since we have about 35% crit chance and then more with our imbuments traps, and then concussive for the nightmare build. You have a lot of uptime on proccing frozen enemies, and then this also synergizes with this one. So you do more poison damage against frozen enemies. For this gem, I chose this one because it provides us more stagger. The slow effect, the knockback, don't really affect the boss, but it provides us more CC and speeds up the stagger just a little bit. And that's it for the gear. I'm using combo points for a skill tree. It's just a standard twisting blades. Siphoning strikes. This helps us a little bit, even though it did get nerfed. But we attack so fast, we have a lot of crit chance and lucky hit that it's able to proc once in a while. We use Shadow Step for the stun. This provides us more CC on the boss, and the crit chance helps a little bit. Dash just for the mobility. We don't really use this in phase 1, but in phase 2 it helps getting around. I don't have any points in weapon mastery because I'm using double daggers and it's only applied to healthy enemies, so you don't want to DPS the boss too fast because then you won't be able to stagger her before she phases into the ad phase. So ideally you want to stagger her right before that happens. So that's why I do not use this. However, I do have points in here, mostly because of the execute. Injured enemies is below 35%. Poison Trap, this applies the CC effect, and it also gives us more damage to our poison. This also procs this passive, which gives us more crit chance whenever it occurs. So 12% crit, 4 seconds. So we have a lot of crit chance from that. And then we have our poison imbuements for damage, crit chance, frigid finesse. This happens whenever the boss gets staggered. So you'll do a lot of damage during that phase. Lucky hit, talents, and then we have over here is just more attack speed and helps us to get around just like a little bit faster, but we don't really use it for the move speed. It's just mostly for just more attack speed. And then we're using close quarters combat just to do more damage whenever the boss gets CC'd. And the attack speed also helps. Okay, and for Paragon, I am using Efficacy. This helps us increase 20% imbued potency. So this helps a lot with our main source of damage, poison imbuement. Closer and Tricks of Trade. This is pretty important right here. It helps us with the damage. Tracker makes poisons last longer, which helps, especially when she flies around. She starts ticking. We use Bane. This is the main source of damage. And then I use Control because once the boss is staggered, this is like having an extra 2 points for Frigid Finesse. So +2 here. And then we have 6 right here. So it's a total of +8 Frigid Finesse if you count that glyph. Now if you were to swap this around to do High Nightmare dungeons, it's very similar. I would have to modify this quite a bit, but I would post a future video showing that setup. Right now I just still need to finish leveling. And that should be it. Well, Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye.